Good evening and welcome. On the news tonight, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu hosts Nigerian Baptist Convention team assures safety and security of residents and visitors. Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara swears in 23 local government caretaker chairmen. Leader of proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, seeks negotiation with federal government over alleged terrorism charge. And on the international scene, South Africa swears in Cyril Ramaphosa as fifth democratically elected president. We'll bring you details in a moment. Please stay with us. Thanks for joining us. I am Adetola Kayode. You're welcome. The House of Representatives has lauded troops of the Nigerian Armed Forces for their sustained pressure against insurgency and terrorism in troubled spots across the country. The Chairman, House of Representatives Committee on Defense, Babajimi Benson, gave the commendation in Abuja on Wednesday, saying the troops have recorded remarkable achievements in recent times. According to him, the feats are a testament to the resilience and sacrifice of the men and women in uniform who work tirelessly in ensuring the safety and security of all Nigerians. The lawmaker, who represents Ikorodu Federal Constituency in Lagos State, noted that the troops of the Multinational Joint Task Force have continually dealt fatal blows on terrorist groups in the Lake Charge region through a series of daring operations. He also added that on June 15, 2024, the Nigerian Navy ship Sorrow discovered and deactivated an illegal refining site in Isonogbene area of Brass local government area, Bayelsa State, stressing that the site contained unspecified quantities of stolen crude oil and illegally refined AGL. Benson assured the nation's armed forces of the readiness of the parliament to provide the necessary support to enable them succeed in their mission of safeguarding the lives and property of Nigerians. And we move on to Rivers State, where Governor Siminalayi Fubara has mandated the Auditor General of the state to begin the audit of the accounts of the 23 local government areas for the past 3 years. The development comes in the wake of the ongoing political crisis bedeviling the state. While swearing in the caretaker committee chairman of the local government areas, the governor said the measure is intended to serve as a check for the incoming officials. He urged the caretaker chairman not to see themselves as superheroes, but to protect the interests of their people and demonstrate that the government made the right choice in appointing them. He emphasized that the current events are a product of democracy. Fubara explained that the fight against tenure extension is not just about the state, but the entire country, as allowing it in one state could lead to it being replicated nationwide. He pointed out that Rivers State is not doing anything unusual, as most states in the country are also run by caretaker committees. He, however, cautioned that their tenure would not be excessively long because the process for local government area elections would begin soon. He warned against violence, stating that it is not his approach, urging the officials to sort out the salaries and entitlements of the outgoing chairman. And reacting to the local government administration caretaker committee in Rivers State, youths loyal to the minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, gathered around the council premises of the Port Harcourt City Local Government Council. The youths have refused to leave the council area, which is close to the Rivers State Government House. Police have, however, taken over the environment and premises of other local council areas in Rivers State. One of the leaders of the crowd, Maxwell Enwuke, a former council executive and the present coordinator, Grassroots Development Initiative in Falga, said they will resist any attempt by the new caretaker team to take over. Local government chairmen in Rivers State, whose tenure expired on Tuesday, are refusing to step down, claiming that their tenure was extended by the State House of Assembly. Meanwhile, Governor Siminalayi Fubara has maintained that there is nothing like tenure extension for the chairman. And the leadership of the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State on Wednesday called on the federal government to declare a state of emergency in the state, saying there is a full-blown war there. The APC Caretaker Committee Chairman, Chief Tony Okocha, made the call during a media briefing in Port Harcourt. He said there were clear indices of lawlessness in the state orchestrated by non-state actors, and if this scenario is not assuaged, it will be too late. Okocha also explained that the controversial Law Number 2 of 2024 was not targeted at elongating the tenure of the outgone chairman, but for future considerations. He blamed the state governor Fubara for the unrest, adding that the state is at war and the only way for residents to live in peace is for the federal government to declare a state of emergency in the state. The APC chieftain used the opportunity to absolve the party from a comment made by former Rivers State Governor Rotimi Amechi, where he said 84% of Nigerians are unhappy with President Tinubu's administration. And still staying with Rivers State, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has cautioned the immediate past Rivers State local government chairman, whose tenure has expired, against any conduct capable of disrupting the peace in the state. National Publicity Secretary of the party, Honorable Debo Ologunagba, issued the words of caution in a statement in Abuja. According to him, the PDP notes that the 3-year tenure in office of the former local government executive councils in the state has expired. This, explained, was due to the explosion of time under the relevant state law establishing the Rivers State Local Government Council administration. Ologunagba counseled the former Rivers State local government chairman to desist from any action that may constitute disruption in local government administration in the state. And moving to Lagos, the safety and security of residents and visitors to the metropolitan state of Lagos is guaranteed, as government has put in place machineries and human capacity to ensure this. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu gave this assurance when he played host to the president of the Nigerian Baptist Convention, Reverend Israel Akonji. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu welcomed the Nigerian Baptist Convention team led by its president, Reverend Israel Akonji, to the Lagos House, Ikeja. Reverend Akonji commended the Sanwo-Olu administration for bringing development to the state and for showing up for the people of Lagos with the different levels of palliatives when they were needed. The team's visit was also to intimate Mr. Governor of the impending annual Baptist World Alliance with the headquarters in the U.S., but will be holding for the first time in 100 years in Nigeria.
We'll be so happy that you speak to us. Most of the times when we go for the World Council of Churches meetings and things like that in Geneva, we have either the Prime Minister or somebody will definitely come. So we'll be glad you come. And so we are leaving you, sir, with a word of appreciation for making Lagos to continuously be a center of excellence. We pray that by the presence of God and His goodness, it will continue to be a place of excellence.
Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu commended the church for the role it's playing in helping to stabilize the society. He assured them of adequate support when the Baptist Church will be hosting the World in Lagos, promising that the state is safe and secure for all local and international activity.
We do not leave anything to chance on that. The very recent incident that happened in Lagos, which was some kidnapping of some of our members of our Lebanese community, 3 of them. We're happy that they've been released. And even just this morning, I met with them, and so useful information, we have, to ensure that the perpetrators of this act are not going to be spared, and we will do everything. We know we have an idea of how far they've gone, and we'll do everything to ensure that we do not give them a space in our state, in our city.
Reacting to the recent abduction and rescue of the Fuani brothers, Governor Sanwo-Olu sounded a note of warning to perpetrators of criminal acts and those with intent that they will be caught and will face the full weight of the law.
I want to assure you that these are the minimum things that we can do for our people. Governance in itself is about ensuring that we provide succor, we give opportunity to our citizens, we improve the social economic environment for our people, and we make life a lot more meaningful for them. Sometimes it appears as if we are not doing a good job, but I can tell you, sir, that we're putting everything that we have into it. And it's a tough job, and like you also call on God, we do not even leave the presence of God. We'll continue to make this place peaceful, we'll continue to make it attractive, we'll continue to make it home, we'll continue to ensure that, businesses thrive, they live and they work in a conducive environment. So we want to assure all of the international visitors that will be coming that the state government will support you.
The team also appealed to the governor to look into issues surrounding the parcel of land in Agege, Lagos Baptist School. Adetola Kayode, LTV News. And to this one, the Federal High Court in Abuja has adjourned the ongoing trial against the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, till September 23rd, 25th and 26th, 2024, following the inability of the trial to commence properly. Justice Binta Nyako made the adjournment after the defense counsels prayed the court to explore Section 17 of the Federal High Court Act on following the denial of his application to quash the remaining 7-count charge against Kanu. Section 17 of the Federal High Court Act states that in any proceedings in the court may promote reconciliation among the parties thereto and encourage, facilitate the amicable settlement thereof. This was the submission of Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, Aloy Ejimako, before Justice Binta Nyako, following the dismissal of a fresh application by Kanu challenging the jurisdiction of the court to entertain counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, and 15 for being unconstitutional. The court held that it cannot overrule itself on issues it had already resolved, adding that the only option left for the applicant is to proceed on appeal. At the proceedings, Ejimako noted that trial cannot go on if his client's right to fair hearing is being questioned. Ejimako also brought to the attention of the court that the Department of State Services, DSS, is yet to fully comply with the orders of the court as their visit to Kanu was still being barred. In response on the issue of Section 17 of the High Court Act 2011, the prosecution lawyer Adegboyega Awomolo, SAN, informed the court that he does not have the instruction of his client to embark on any negotiations with the defendant over the charge. However, trial judge who observed that the court has no problem if the parties want to discuss negotiation urged Kanu to approach the AGF, who is the proper person to negotiate with. And Justice Emeka Nwite of the Federal High Court, Abuja, has dismissed a fresh bail application by the detained Deputy Commissioner of Police, Abba Kyari, filed to be released on bail pending the conclusion of his trial. Kyari is facing an 8-count charge bordering on drug trafficking brought against him by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. The court had in 2 previous rulings denied the defendants bail and ordered their remand at Kuje prison. The Court of Appeal in Abuja also refused Kyari's request for bail. At today's sitting, Justice Nwite, in a ruling, held that Kyari's application lacked merit. It stated that Kyari failed to establish any exceptional circumstance that would warrant the exercise of judicial discretion in his favor. The trial judge said the court had earlier dismissed a similar bail application that was brought before it and ordered an accelerated hearing of the case. And Justice Nyangekwo of the Federal High Court, Abuja, has dismissed the fundamental rights suit instituted by Binance executive Nadeem Jawala against the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, and the Office of the National Security Advisor. The case was dismissed due to the absence of Jawala's legal team during the proceedings. And Jawala had approached the court seeking a declaration that his detention by Nigerian authorities was unlawful. He also filed a request for costs in his favor. He emphasized the emotional and financial strain his detention and placed on himself, his family, and relatives. Earlier, his legal representative, Tonye Krukubo, withdrew from the case without giving a specific reason. The withdrawal occurred after reports surfaced that Anjawala had fled the country following his detention. Krukubo formally submitted a notice of withdrawal of legal representation, prompting Justice Ekwa to acknowledge that Anjawala no longer had legal counsel in his suit. The judge adjourned the case, expecting Anjawala to secure new legal representation promptly. During the recent court proceedings, despite the case being called, neither Anjawala nor legal representation from either party appeared before Justice Ekwo. The judge consequently issued an order striking out the fundamental rights case. The federal government has announced plans to send the first Nigerian to space. The Director General of the National Space Research and Development Agency, Dr. Matthew Adekboju, announced this during a briefing in Abuja. The federal government has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Space Exploration and Research Agency, SERA, to facilitate this ambitious venture. The DG noted that the collaboration, which is coming to the country, marks a significant milestone in Nigeria's 25th anniversary of space exploration journey and opens new opportunities for scientific research and technological advancement. The signing ceremony was supervised by the Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Uche Naje, who underscored the importance of the partnership for Nigeria's bourgeoisie space program. The minister emphasized the transformative potential of the partnership, stressing that it is a testament to Nigeria's commitment to advancing its capabilities in space exploration. The Minister of Arts, Culture and Creative Economy, Hannatu Musa Musawa, says the administration of President Tinubu is set to create an economic expansion fund of $100 billion towards promoting and preserving cultural heritage. Musa Musawa, who was at the 2024 Ujudi Oba Festival, acknowledged the cultural diversity of Nigerians, noting that the federal government is working towards making the country a cultural hub by the year 2030. According to him, the annual event has grown from a mere gathering of Ijebu people to felicitate with the Awujale to an event that attracts both national and global audiences, adding that the festival is being considered to be listed as the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization's World Cultural Heritage. Ogun State Governor Dakwa Abiodun says his administration is poised to making the Ojude Oba Festival a global event, noting that his administration is committed to providing a conducive environment for businesses to thrive. He called for unity and harmony from people across the state, adding that the festival is a time to work together to build a viral state. And moving on to other stories, following the outbreak of cholera in Lagos and some states, the United Nations Children's Fund has called for extensive measures to protect school children. In this special report compiled by Suad Anila, she tells us more on the prevention and care of cholera.
Cholera is an infectious disease that causes severe watery diarrhea, which can lead to dehydration and even death if untreated. It is caused by eating food or drinking water contaminated with a bacterium called Vibrio cholerae. Most people exposed to the cholera bacterium don't become ill and don't know they have been infected. However, because they shed cholera bacteria in their stool for 7 to 14 days, they can still infect others through contaminated water. Symptoms of cholera infection can include diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, and dehydration. A safe and clean supply of water is the key to cholera prevention. Adequate chlorination of public water supplies, and in some cases, the distribution of chlorine tablets to households with instructions for proper use are often effective measures. Another important intervention is the hygienic disposal of human waste. In areas lacking modern sewage systems, the use of latrines can substantially lower the risk of infection, while ensuring the safety of food is another important control measure. During an epidemic of cholera, it is important that all food, including leftovers, be thoroughly cooked to a core temperature of 70 degrees Celsius and that it be eaten before it cools down. Vaccines have been developed against cholera, but they have not been considered effective for the prevention of cholera. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention, NCDC, has alerted the public to the increasing trend of cholera cases across the country, as a total of 1,141 suspected and 65 confirmed cases of cholera, with 30 deaths, have been reported from 96 local government areas in 30 states. 10 states that contributed 90% to the burden of cholera include Bayelsa, Zamfara, Abia, Cross River, Bauchi, Delta, Katsina, Imo, Nasarawa, and Lagos State. Following the initial alert and advisory issued by the Lagos State Ministry of Health on the cholera outbreak, the Lagos State government has activated its Public Health Emergency Operations Center at Mainland Hospital, Yaba, Lagos. The center was convened to address the increasing number of severe gastroenteritis cases across multiple local government areas in Lagos State. The Lagos State government has advised the public to ensure that water is boiled and stored in a clean and covered container before drinking.
You're still watching the news on Lagos Television. Still ahead. NAFDAC insists ban on sale and consumption of sachet alcoholic beverages still in place. That's in a moment. Please stay with us.
Dear Lagosians, we are taking a stand for our city's health and future. The Lagos State government has banned styrofoam food containers to shield our environment and your well-being. Why? Because styrofoam made of polystyrene is linked to severe health risks like cancer, Parkinson's disease, and hearing loss. But the danger doesn't stop there. It is also non-biodegradable, meaning it will remain the same for the next 500 years, leading to clogged drains and increased flooding. Our oceans are also at risk. It harms marine life, disrupting the delicate balance of our ecosystem. Please, let us embrace the usage of only reusable plastic containers henceforth. If you are found using, selling, or distributing styrofoam food containers, these items will be confiscated and you will be prosecuted. Let's choose a safer path with reusable plastics. It's up to us to ensure a vibrant, healthier, and cleaner Lagos for generations to come. Enough is enough. Join the movement.
Thanks for staying tuned. The federal government has reaffirmed its commitment to implementing the tenets of the Biological Weapons Convention by not developing, producing, acquiring, or retaining biological weapons in line with the international community's efforts to addressing the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, made the disclosure at the Stakeholders Forum on implementation of the Biological Weapons Convention in Nigeria. The SGF was represented at the event by the technical advisor to the SGF, Professor Bolaji Babatunde, said Nigeria, being a signatory to the Biological Weapons Convention on 10th July 1972, is committed to abiding by the Biological Weapons Convention, which stipulates that no state parties should develop, produce, acquire, or retain biological weapons. In furtherance to its commitment to implementing the dictates of the convention, he noted that the federal government, through the National Authority on Chemical and Biological Weapons Convention, has set up an interministerial council which comprised over 42 members drawn from relevant ministries, departments and agencies, organized private sectors, and the academia, charged with the responsibility of providing requisite policy guidance and direction on issues relating to Biological Weapon Convention implementation through collaboration and cross-fertilization of ideas. The Director General of the National Agency for Food, Drug Administration and Control, Moji Adeyeye, said the ban on the sale of consumption of sachet alcoholic beverages in the country is still in force. Adeyeye, who stated this at a press briefing in Lagos, explained that the ban on sachet alcohol is a ministerial directive and the ban still remains until the ministers respond. The deputy spokesman for the House of Representatives, Philip Agbeche, last Friday disclosed that the House and NAFDAC resolved to lift the ban on the sale and consumption of sachet alcoholic beverages in the country. Agbeche said the resolution to lift the ban temporarily was arrived at after a meeting between the House committee and NAFDAC officials, explained that the ban would end when the economy fully recovers from its current strain. Recall that on February 1, 2024, NAFDAC commenced the enforcement of the ban on the importation, manufacture, distribution, sale, and use of alcoholic beverages in sachets, PET, and glass bottles of 200 millimeters and below. The Lagos State Public Servants have resumed work after the two-day break declared by the federal government for the Eid al-Kabir celebrations. They expressed readiness to put in their best at work, and we have details in Suad Aguilar's report.
Public servants are back at work after the festivities of Eid al-Adha with renewed zeal to put in their best at their places of primary assignment. Those who spoke with Lagos television crews say the break was well spent as it gave them the opportunity to celebrate, rest and bond with their families.
It's fine. We're all enjoying it. Despite the hardship, we still manage ourselves.
I enjoyed my holiday though. From where I went to travel to Badagry, I really enjoyed it. Because in every year, on third day, we have one traditional this we are doing there. I really enjoyed it.
It was refreshing, and we just want to appreciate the Lagos State government for giving us the opportunity to go back home, celebrate with our family, and also refresh ourselves.
They share insights into their preparedness for the tasks that lie ahead.
Kudos to the government for declaring that holiday. And we are back to work now. Nati are reformed. And we are going to continue our quota toward the development of the state and Nigeria in general.
I just want to wish them happy resumption and to tell them that all hands must go back on deck so that we can move Lagos State forward. Thank you.
They also commended the state government for its commitment at ensuring that its citizens are protected and safe at all times, as this has continued to boost their zeal to work.
And residents and commuters of Oriokuta-Yeta Road in Ikorodu West have spotted the positive impacts the newly constructed road will have on their daily lives. That's told the member representing Ikorodu Federal Constituency, Babajimi Benson, for facilitating and completing the construction of the road. Ikorodu Bureau Chief Adeshegun Egop reports.
Party stalwarts, members of Lagos State House of Assembly, local government chairmen, traditional chiefs, community development associations, residents and commuters in Ikorodu division are all gathered to witness the commissioning and handing over of the just constructed Oriokuta-Yeta Road. They commend the facilitator and member representing Ikorodu Federal Constituency in the National Assembly, Honorable Babajimi Benson, for his relentless efforts in enhancing infrastructure in the division.
Honorable Jimmy Benson is fulfilling his own aspects of the promise. Take ownership of this project. This project is for the betterment of your community. It's going to enhance the value of the property of this particular area, knowing fully well that it is what you maintain that will last. It is what lasts that will serve the betterment of the people of the area.
Oriokuta-Yeta Ojokoro Road, linking about 30 communities, is a major bypass for commuters from Agric Ishawo dual carriageway to Ile-Epo by axis of Ikorodu-Shagamu Expressway.
Don't make the mistake of thanking me. I am committed to delivering my campaign promises. These are all dividends of a working democratic government.
Number one.
The minimum wage restructuring is ongoing. Student loans is also ongoing for our youth. There is also consumer profit to invest in business. In a few months, things will be better in the country.
Appliances, development, business, only government guarantee, so in the next couple of months, jail.
The road, which had been in the bad state for several years, created opportunity for hoodlums to attack residents and dispose them of their valuables.
Successfully and commissioned 57 roads. One of the roads is between Ikorodu and Ketu. I'm saying this to let people know the quantum of the investments and the quantum of the project he has brought in. People are willing to move in into this place for stay
and for development in general. However, we, the community, are assuring you that this road is to be well monitored.
Residents expressed their joy and relief at the swift construction and completion of the road.
We appreciate this gathering and we want to say thank you. And furthermore, I want to say, sir, my friend has talked about the history of this road 30 years, but today we are smiling. I want to really say thank you.
We want to appreciate our representative, Honorable Jimmy Benson. He is fulfilling his promises for the division. We implore him to continue his good work.
Meanwhile, Honorable Babajimi Benson, in company of other dignitaries, took a tour to inspect the ongoing construction of Lambo-Lasunwa Road at Lasustek First Gate area and the 13-kilometer Oreta Ofin Road in Igbobo-Bayeku area of Ikorodu Division at Deshegun Eagle. LTV News.
And still to come in the news. Federal government announces additional 17 deep offshore oil blocks, invites investors for bid. That's in business news. Please stay with us.
On business news tonight, the federal government has announced the addition of 17 deep offshore oil blocks to the 2024 licensing round for oil fields in Nigeria. The government invited investors to bid for 12 oil blocks and 7 deep offshore assets in the 2024 marginal fields bid round. The Chief Executive Officer, Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, Benga Komalafe, clarified that bidders should refer to the frequently asked questions sections of the 2022, 2023 and 2024 licensing round portals or contact the Upstream Regulatory Agency. The NUPRC boss also stated that to allow interested investors to take advantage of the expanded opportunities, the 2024 licensing round schedule had been amended. Recall that some deep offshore blocks were recently put on offer for the 2022-2023 mini bid round, and other blocks which cut across onshore, continental shelf and deep offshore terrains were also put on offer for the Nigeria 2024 licensing round. Niger Delta stakeholders, including foremost former militant leaders, have commended President Bola Tinubu, the Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Mele Kyari, and the Olu of Warri Kingdom, His Majesty Atuache III, over the successes recorded in securing the oil and gas assets, as well as the fight against oil theft in the region. The stakeholders, made up of traditional rulers, youth leaders and experts in the oil and gas sector, argued that despite inheriting a shabby economy and poorly managed oil and gas infrastructures, the Tinubu administration has successfully harnessed the various security apparatuses to sustain the security of the Federal Ministry of Petroleum Resources and others to achieve noticeable victories against oil theft and pipeline vandalism. Ex-militant leader and national coordinator of the Anti-Pipeline Vandalization, Oil Theft and Illegal Bunkering Task Force Group, Comrade Fairway Pathfinder, popularly known as Osama, noted that the strategy and mode of operation of the federal government and the NNPCL had yielded immense positive results, as there had been a notable increase in the nation's crude oil production on a daily basis, as well as drastic reduction in the incessant issues of oil thieves and pipeline vandals. The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission has approved a deal for the procurement of 450 megawatts of electricity from Zungeru Hydroelectricity Generation Company Limited. The directive said to have been issued further to the Commission's order on the transmission system, dispatch operation, cross-border supply and related matters, and in the overriding public interest of ensuring continuous improvement in the supply of electricity to Nigerians, was to ensure grid stability and to prevent shutdown of the newly completed Zungeru hydropower plant, pending when it gets off-takers. The NEC, in a directive signed by its Vice Chairman, Musliu Hussaini, acknowledged that the sub-optimal grid dispatch experienced on the national grid is partly occasioned by low generation, thereby affecting the electricity distribution company's ability to deliver on the committed service levels to end-use customers due to frequent interruptions to manage transient and recurring grid imbalances. The Commission further noted that the Zungeru Hydroelectricity Generation Company had successfully concluded its initial capacity testing on May 15 with a demonstrated average generation capacity of 600 megawatts. According to the NEC, the Zungeru Power Company, which currently has no contract with off-takers, had indicated its decision to shut down the plant after the capacity test, pending the finalization of contractual arrangements with its prospective off-takers. To avoid this, the regulator said it decided to ensure the power plant remains on the grid and continues to inject power to improve service delivery to electricity consumers in Nigeria. And that's all on business news. Up next are today's figures on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange.